Now I'll show Gyakizuki. This is a straight punch, and like I always say, straight punches are hard to connect with. So here I set it up with a low kick to the inside of my opponent's leg. It's not that you can't connect with a straight punch when you throw it by itself. It's certainly possible, but it is more difficult because your opponent is waiting for the punch. When you set it up using another strike such as a kick, it draws your opponent's attention away from the punch. So in this case, I use a kick to set up my punch. I kick to the leg and then follow up with the cross. One more time. Remember, your guard hand should always remain high. When I kick my opponent's leg, it isn't hard. I just touch his leg to draw his attention down to the lower half of his body, and then I land a punch to his face. Now I will enter using my lead hand, a technique called Kizamizuki, or the jab. Just as I did in the previous technique, I use a kick to the inside of my opponent's lead leg to set up the jab. I throw a low kick to pull his attention downward, and then I throw a jab to his face. It's also very important to hit and then exit. Notice how I throw the jab and then move off to the side. If my opponent were to throw a counter strike, I would be out of the way. To increase your chances of landing the jab, you can also move your opponent's lead arm to the side prior to throwing the jab. Now we'll demonstrate a technique where you throw a kick to your opponent's back leg, but instead of pulling your leg back into your stance, you drop it down to the mat and change your stance. Now your lead arm is in the back, allowing you to throw a powerful punch. So you throw a low kick to the outside of your opponent's lead leg, drop your foot to the mat, and then enter with the left cross. You have two options. You can throw the first strike like a fake to draw your opponent's attention downward, and then follow up with the punch. Or you can throw the kick hard so that it causes damage, and then enter with the punch. It is up to you. The first method is faster, but in the second method, your kick is more powerful. It's very important not to throw the kick like this. You always want to keep your body erect and use your hips. Now I show a kicking combination where I step laterally. This allows me to remove myself from my opponent's line of fire and obtain a dominant angle of attack. I throw my first kick to my opponent's leg to drop his focus low, and then I finish with a high kick to his head.
Sempre saindo da direção, isso é muito importante. Pouquinho mais rápido.
Moving to the outside of my opponent's lead leg to obtain a dominant angle of attack. A little faster now. A little faster now.
Agora, uma combinação que, por exemplo...
Once more, exiting to the outside of my opponent's lead leg, and then kick.
Vou usar a combinação de perna na frente, saindo para a lateral, para entrar num ângulo que ele não possa ver o meu chute. Então eu chuto, caio para o lado e chuto aqui de novo. Mais uma vez.
A little faster now. Now we'll show knee dungaree. Again, you will do 2 kicks in a row. So you throw the first kick, and before your foot touches down, you throw the second kick. It can be a difficult technique to pull off, so it's best utilized after the first round of a fight when your opponent is moving slower. If you practice this combination tirelessly, then you will develop a feel for when you can use it in a fight. What you don't want is a lag between kicks. You want to throw one right after the other. A little faster. Slow. I touch with my first kick, and then I throw the second kick hard. A little faster now. Slow. Fast. Now I will combine some of the techniques I already showed to form a larger combination. Here you throw a kick to the outside of your opponent's lead leg, drop your foot to the mat, and throw a cross. Immediately after, you exit to the outside of your opponent's lead leg and throw a jab to his chin. So I combine 2 techniques I've already shown. Next, I conclude with a low kick. Remember, you always want to go high and then low, or low and then high to confuse your opponent.
Primeiro nisso, tá?
Now I'll show a very fast kick-punch combination. First, you throw